Class, for today's video, we're going to solve problems using two-set Venn diagrams. So when you solve Venn diagrams that has only two sets class, so typically we have four regions. So we have region 1, so this is where the elements that are found in A but not in B. Then the region 2 is where the elements are found both in A and B. Then the third region, or region 3, these are the number of elements or the elements that are found in set B but not in A. And of course, the region 4, these are the elements or the number of elements that are found in the universal set but not found in either A or in set B. So when we solve problems, okay, involving two sets Venn diagrams, so we always have four regions to fulfill or to accomplish. Okay, so we have here an example of a problem. So we have a 150 college freshmen who were interviewed, and 85 among them enrolled for a math class, 70 enrolled for an English class, while 50 enrolled for both math and English classes. So if we're going to add class, 85 plus 70 plus 50, this is more than the 150 being interviewed. So this is the reason why, class, you really have to come up with a Venn diagram so that you can see what is the real number for each of those four regions. So remember that we only have 150, and yet if you're going to add 85 plus 70, that's already 155, plus another 50, that makes it 205. So how is this possible if this is the case? So what we do is we are going to create a Venn diagram that will represent these two sets, the set of students, freshmen in particular, who enrolled in math class, and the set of students who enrolled in an English class, and of course, the set where both those students or freshmen have math and English classes at the same time. So here we have our M represents the math, and our E represents the English classes. So typically what we do is we always look at if there are a total number given. So that's the first thing that we are going to identify. So in this case, there is a total of 150. So it means, class, that there is a total of 150. All we have to do is we are going now to assign all the numbers so that each of these four regions will be satisfied, so that when we add, it will be 150. So the next thing that we do is actually we go or look for a statement that we have the intersection of the two sets. In other words, we are going to start here at the intersection, and that would be our 50 who enrolled for both math and in English classes. So this is where we start usually, because this will give us now, using subtractions later on how many will be put in this side of the English, how many will be put in this side of your math. So there is a total of 50 freshmen who had both math and the English classes. So this is what we usually look for, okay, to start with. So we start with the intersection of the two sets. Then the next now is we go up. And in this case, 70 said that they enrolled for an English class. Now, there is a total of 70 students. But because, class, we already have 50 who already had English classes but at the same time math, so out of the 70, so we need to subtract 70 minus 50, and the difference of 20 will be put here. And this 20, class, are the number of freshmen who had English class only. And if we're going to add 50 plus 20 again, it gives us a total of 70, indicating that there is a total of 70 freshmen who had English class only and English class plus a math class at the same time. So we have already satisfied our set for the English class. Now for the math class, the next now will be for the math class. So again, there is a total of 85 who enrolled in math class. So because we already have 50 here who had math class and at the same time English class, so we need to subtract again 85 minus 50, and remaining is 35. So meaning this 35 class is actually the number of freshmen who only had math class, but they don't have an English class. Now, this 50 here had a math class, but at the same time, they also have an English class. So, a total again of 85. Now, this is the reason why if you're going to add 85 and 70, it's already more than 150. However, in reality class, if you're going to add 35 plus 50 is 85, plus 20 is 105. Now, because the total is 150 and the total here is only 105, so we need still to find out the remaining number of students or freshmen who they might be having no class in math nor in English, and that would be the outside part. So this is now the region 4. So this is now the 45. So, if you're going to add 45 plus 35 plus 50 plus 20, then the total is 150. So, we can already answer some of the questions. So, let's have this 4 questions here. So we have how many enrolled only for a math class. So indicating that those number of freshmen who are only enrolled in a math class. So by the Venn diagram class, we can easily see that we have two choices. Either those who enrolled in math class, 35 only, or those who enrolled in math class and at the same time in an English class. So between these two, of course, because we are only asked only for a math class, so our answer would be 35. Now for the second one, how many enrolled only for an English class? So again, if you're going to look at the Venn diagram here, so there are two choices. One is 50, the other one is 20. So going back to the question, only for an English class. So since we have this 20 here, this is indicating that there are only 20 who enrolled for an English class. So our answer would be 20. For the third one, it says here how many enrolled for math or English. So the word or class means that those freshmen who had math as their subjects enrolled in math, or those who have English class, or could it also mean math and at the same time English. So in this case, I have 35 who have math only, I have 20 who had English only, and still I have 50 who have both math and the English subject. So all of these three will be added, and this will answer now the question for letter C, which is now 35 plus 20 plus 50 is equals to 105. So there is a total of 105 freshmen who enrolled in math or enrolled in English or both in math and in English at the same time. So that is how we answer now the question with an or as a connectives. For letter D, we are asked how many enrolled neither for math nor in English, meaning those who did not enroll either in math or in English or both math and in English. So in this case, we can see that there is 45 outside, and that would be the answer class. So the answer would be 45. So it's very important class when we solve problems that involves Venn diagrams is for us now to always start first. How many is the total number in the problem? Then you go directly now to find for that intersection, and that's where we're going to start. Now, how about for the second question class? So here we have in a class of 50 students, each of the students passed either in mathematics or in science or in both. So this statement class gives us an idea that there is a total of 50 students in a class. Then in this class, there are students who passed in mathematics. There are also students who passed in science, and there are also students who passed both in science and in math. Now, the second statement says that 10 students passed in both, and 28 passed in science. So find how many students passed in mathematics. Okay, so first, we are going now to create a Venn diagram here. So again, we have only two sets because we have two subjects, math and the science. So as I said, we have to look for the 50 students. We know that there is a total of 50 students. So we can just create that as our union. Universal, should I say. We have 50 all in all. And here we have the union of math and science is 50, indicating also that there is a total of 50 students. So first is that we are going to find the intersection. Okay, so always start from the intersection. And if we have here 10 students passed in both, indicating that there are 10 students who passed, okay, both in math, not either class, but both in math and in science. So there are 10 students. Then find also the other statement that 28 passed in science. So this is given. Now, because there is a total of 28 students class in science, and out of this 28, we already have the 10. So 10 here indicates that there are 10 students who passed in science and at the same time who passed in math. So therefore, of the 28, we have to subtract 10, so we have here the 18 numbers. So here, the 18 class indicates that these are only the number of students who passed in science but not in math, only in science. Now, the next now is we are asked how many students passed in mathematics. So remember that there is a total of 50. And here we already have the 10, we already have the 18. So 10 plus 18 is 28. So out of the 50, we subtract 50 minus 28, and that remains now the 22, and that's where we're going to put it here. So for the question, how many students pass in math, is that we have a total of 50. We subtract it by 28, so we have the 22 here. So if you're going to add 22 plus 10 plus 18, again, it equals to 50. But since we are asked how many students passed in math, meaning either these students passed in mathematics only, or these students passed both in mathematics and in science. So in this case, class, we need to add 22 plus 10, and that now makes up 32. So this is our answer. We have 32 students, all in all, who passed in mathematics. Now, if you're going to break this down, this 32, 22 passed in mathematics only, while the other 10 passed in mathematics, but at the same time in science as well. So the answer now will be 22 plus 10 equals to 32. Okay, so again, be mindful class ha, if you are asked how many students pass in math, this does not mean that in math only. It means that they pass in math and at the same time they also pass in math and at the same time in science, because this also, okay, answers the questions that they pass in math, only that they have science as well. Okay, so the answer is 32, not 22. Okay, now for the third example here. The population of a town is 10,000. Out of this, 5,400 persons watch Netflix and 4,700 watch Amazon Prime. 1,500 persons watch both, referring now to Netflix and the Amazon Prime. So the question here is that find the number of persons who do not watch either of the two. So again, create a Venn diagram. And since we only have two sets, we have the set of those viewers for the Netflix and those viewers for the Amazon Prime. Because we are given that there is a total of 10,000, so we have to indicate here the 10,000. So this is our universal number of viewers. Then again, look for the intersection of the two. So there are three values here given. So we have to look for our intersection between these two sets. So 1,500 persons watch both. So this is where we are going to indicate the 1,500 at the center. So meaning there are now 1,500 persons who watch both the Netflix and the Amazon. Then we can go to the other sets. So in this case, 5,400 persons watch Netflix. So the total number class is 5,400 for the Netflix. However, we already have the 1,500 as part of the 5,400. So if you're going to find the number of persons who watch Netflix only, okay, so we need to subtract 5,400 by 1,500, and that would be the 3,900. So again, if you add this 9,000, 3,900, and the 1,500, again, it goes back to 5,400 total. So for the Amazon, if there are 4,700, watch the Amazon again. Out of the 4,700, there is already 1,500 who watch both Amazon and Netflix. So similarly, we need to subtract 4,700 by 1,500, and that would be the number of viewers for the Amazon only, but not for the Netflix. And that would be the 3,200. So if you're going to add 3,900 plus 1,500 plus 3,200, the total is either equals to 10,000 or less than 10,000, but not more than 10,000. So it would be wrong class if we're going to add 5,400 plus 4,700 because it makes it already more than 10,000. So what we do is we are going to find for the number of persons who do not watch either of the two. So this is actually the complement class of the 8,600. So if there is a total of 10,000 persons, then we subtract 10,000 minus 8,600, and that would be the 1,400. And that answers now the questions that there will be 1,400 persons who did not watch either the Netflix or the Amazon. There we go. So again, thank you. So the next lesson class will be how we are going to solve, okay, involving three sets, okay, and that will be the next video. Thank you and see you again, class.